Jung's Analytical Psychology, Part 2, Psychic Energy. Personality Psychology, Dr. Michael Botwin, Department of Psychology, California State University, Fresno. Central to Jungian theory is the notion of psychic energy, just like it is in Freud. Although Jung has a far broader view of psychic energy than Freud does. Freud's system is a closed system. You only get psychic energy as transferred from physiological energy. So with Jung, you can hypothetically get psychic energy from external sources, from things you experience through your senses. So, besides the physiological sources, if you see a symbol that stirs you and makes you feel good, then you can get energy from that. Christians hold the cross as a sign of solace, redemption, and it's a very important symbol for them. Oftentimes a Christian looking at a cross will be energized. If you put a symbol of hate up, and I'm not going to mention that, but you can all imagine one in your head, it, on the other hand, negatively affects you and brings energy into your system in a negative way. If you hear a rousing piece of music, something that gets very upbeat, whether it's Beethoven's Fifth Symphony or your favorite performer and their music, you may get psychic energy by being energized by the music. If you read an article that makes you angry, or you see something in the media that makes you very angry, that's also another way you can acquire psychic energy in Jung's system. Bit different than Freud's. Now, Jung acknowledges that psychic energy is a hypothetical construct and you can't measure it directly. I mentioned this already. It's an open system as opposed to Freud's closed system. You can get energy from any place, not just physiological sources. I think that's important to remember. Also, you have to remember, in Jung's scheme, energy is constantly moving through the system to result in our thinking and our feeling and perceiving of things. And Jung believed that a lot of time our psychic energy is expressed in behavior, thought, wishing, feeling, striving, trying to get something, things like that. Now, at the time he lived in, Jung borrowed many ideas from physics, like field theories, like how things interacted, and put them into the context of psychic energy. So that's a bit on Jung and psychic energy. What do we use psychic energy for? Well, Jung says we use it for several things. First, the work necessary for the maintenance of life and reproduction. This is the lowest level on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, those survival and safety ones. And these can include basic motivational drives, such as hunger, thirst, sex, things like that. And Jung says that excess psychic energy can be employed for cultural and spiritual outlets. And he believed these were the more highly developed purposes of our lives. Now, Jung doesn't talk too specifically about development. or at least it's not as critical in his model as it is in Freud's. But he says as we mature and grow, our physical bodies require less energy and leaves us more energy for cultural and spiritual outlets. So what we want to look at in the future is how Jung believes psychic energy is used. And I'm going to make the case that a lot of it gets used in archetypes, complexes, things like that, which are Jungian notions. We'll explore those in later units. And you'll see that energy is really important to Jung just as it was for Freud. In our next unit, we'll talk about how we're predisposed to do certain things. See you next time. This has been a We Have Couches video production. Copyright 2020, Professor Michael Botwin. All rights reserved.